Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Manic Miners. Specifically, we'll do some more Baz Mod, and since we kind of celebrated last time, but I feel like it's worthy of celebrating again, we are at well, we're not at 1.0, I kind of missed 1.0, but never mind. We're at 1.0.3, indeed, so finally we have the full and complete game here to enjoy. Hello, little friend. And by friend, I mean mortal enemy. Yes, I'm talking about you. If only they were that shy and back to basics. Right then, so let's get on with it. Actually, before we get on with it, I want to do one or two little things. First thing I want to do is tell you that I have redesigned myself, as it were, because I thought it was high time is what I mean to say, that I had a little bit of a redesign, given that I'm now a commanding officer and should be dressed appropriately for this manner. So, upon doing my little bit of screwing around with this, I discovered a few interesting things that I never knew you could do. The first thing I've discovered is that you can click on this and get some really cool funkalicious music going, which I've never heard before, but this seems to levitate if you pause it in the middle of a sound, which is interesting. But I think it's from Lego Island, but I have no memory of ever hearing it before, so isn't that cool? I've also learned you can do this. I'm not wholly sure why you'd want to do this, but this is a thing that you can do if you're feeling like conserving energy. I've also learned that you can do this. And I've learned that you can do this. And you can also do this. Which, as far as I'm concerned, is just downright adorable, and is another reason why I absolutely love this game. Anyway, let's get back on with actually playing the game, shall we, given that that's what we're all here for. Now, I have been given an education by the maker of the game that the fact that my sort of progress didn't carry over when we moved into release candidate 5 was a bug and not a feature. So now you can see that levels that I actually completed in since release candidate 5 have normal times, and all other ones have the sort of old time. So now we can carry on with things without having to use the sneaky button of mischief. Right then, that's enough faffing. Let's get on with the game. Oh, you people again. I'm so glad they can't jump in the game. Interesting they don't turn purple, like they do in the game. They just get completely drained, which I think probably makes more sense, but is a confusing inconsistency. Anyway, we've probably all seen these 1,050 million times. And
so we must begin to build Rock Raiders HQ. Unfortunately, recent earthquakes in this area have made the cavern walls very dangerous. Secure the area by reinforcing the cavern walls to prevent cave-ins. Once this has been done, continue with the mining operation and collect 5 more energy crystals.
In fact, 45 more. Righty-ho then. Yeah, if there's one thing in this world I don't need to see today, it's a slimy slug. Particularly a slimy slug on speed. Okie dokie then. Sandwich heal miners when consumed. You can also order them to stock up. Yes, you can, which is something I probably ought to do more often. But though the fact that these greedy little gentlemen and ladies need to be reminded of the fact to eat is frankly shocking. But never mind. Hello, friends. This is interesting, but also annoying. I don't really want you people here. Why have you people already spawned down? I kind of don't want you here. I said I don't want all of you. I am most dreadfully sorry to do this to you, folks, but you are kind of a load of novices that don't have any of the trainings or upgrades that I need. I should really emphasize that that is not appropriate attire for going out into a really dangerous workplace, but hey-ho. I was never known for dressing appropriately for the situation and the pickle that I continuously get myself into, so let's just get on with life and pretend that we know what we're doing. I see that it's reset the music back to the default music, which is probably appropriate given that if we are going to be running the PS1 Rock Raiders videos roughly alongside, or in sort of in concert with, to continue with the musical terminology, the Manic Miners videos, then I suppose it makes sense that we stop listening to the PlayStation music and leave that for the PlayStation videos and listen to the Manic Miners music in the Manic Miners videos. if that doesn't sound needlessly contrived and utterly silly. You know what else is utterly silly? The fact that I haven't brought down more peeps when we've got plenty of oxygen for them to do the breathing of with. Okie dokie then. I'm still sick of you little people. I'm kind of glad you're here, because for a while in Manic Miners I feel like the little spiders weren't there, and I was getting a wee bit worried about that. But, let's be cavalier about this and just bash everything down. Right then. Sorry, I apologise if I seem slightly out of sorts, but I wasn't actually planning on doing this today, but I just randomly got the inclination, hey, I want to play some Manic Miners today, and here I am, doing it, so, here we are. I'm forgetting all of the quick keys. I haven't gone back and played the original Rock Raiders in ages, but if I ever did, it would probably feel horribly obsolete compared to this for no other reason than that you don't have the keys. Like the fact that you'd have to click on this, and then click on reinforce, and then click on this, and then click on clear, and click on this, and click on clear, instead of just clicking on stuff and then immediately using all of the little hotkeys. It's certainly a lovely quality of life improvement, to use the popular terminology that seems to be employed. Right, we are ready to start blowing some stuff to bits, and I'm slightly hesitant to blow this up because I feel like it's going to damage the tool store, but at the same time I really cannot be bothered to move the bleeding thing. So we're going to blow that up, and in the meantime I am going to construct a canteen, I reckon. Oh, it didn't damage it. That's interesting. That would, I'm sorry, what was that message that came up? That was interesting. I wanted to delete that and I didn't. Can't build there, thank you for not telling me why. The connector paths of the building has to be connected to a power path. Click the I button for details. I am pressing I, nothing happening. Oh, you mean this I? I thought you meant that. I thought you meant like pressing the I on the keyboard. I do apologise. I sincerely apologise for being stupid, but never mind. Okay, thank you for having a little tutorial. I appreciate this. I don't appreciate the fact that everybody's standing around as if there isn't work to be done. There is, and we need to get it done post haste. Let me see. Those are just bits of loose rope. We don't have to worry about that. I don't really want to send anyone else down there while there's dynamite being used. But I am kind of curious to see if a spider could get killed by proximity to an explosion. But I think that would require a hell of a lot of random chance to converge for the spider to actually stand near enough to the explosion to actually be impacted by it. But it would be interesting to see that, because obviously the Rock Raiders can get damaged by dynamite. I don't know if monsters could. Maybe that would be an interesting way of experimenting. Interesting way of in fact I can't even think of a way of experimenting with it. But you'd have to have like a rock monster that was coming down a pathway carrying a boulder, and then you could like go into first person with somebody and then carry a bit of dynamite with you, because you can choose to put the dynamite down and then prime it in first person and then see if that could damage them, but you'd have to time it quite carefully for them to turn up at the right moment. So that could be tricky, but also quite interesting. It's a shame there's not some ability to almost like control the parameters of the game and put little restrictions in place for sort of interesting level design. Like if you could say make it so the tool store can't dispense weapons, for example, but still have there be monsters in the level, so that you're restricted to using things like the mining laser, for example, or a laser vehicle, or using some creative use of dynamite or electric fence. I suppose would also work now that I think about it for more than 2 seconds without yammering on, which takes up a large percentage of my brain power. But never mind. Yeah, like the ability to do that could be fun, but the developer is taking a very well-earned break from any kind of development on the game at the moment, which they most certainly deserve for creating this. absolutely amazing thing, practically single-handedly. Obviously, with a lot of assistance from the community in terms of suggestions and bits and bobs hither and thither. But as I understand it, the main development has been done pretty much by the one person, which I think is highly impressive and highly laudable. I'm not entirely sure leaving bits of dynamite near other bits of exploding dynamite is very safety conscious, but turning up to a mining operation wearing a top hat is hardly safety conscious either. So let's just pretend that we know what we're talking about, and also realise that of course we're doing a Baz Mod level, which means this level's going to be much bigger than I imagined it to be. What's this massive dip here for? Because of course we need 45 crystals. The original one probably had about 10 or 12 or so forth, so I probably need more than I actually realise. So perhaps I ought to invest in some sort of drilling machine rather than the little biological machines that we have got at the moment. You can't upgrade the canteen, can you? No, you can't. I don't know why. I thought you could do that. Probably because the canteen is still very new and foreign and unknown to me as an idea. I do like the look of it. I'm not entirely sure what it's really supposed to be. I mean, I get that there's this little box here which probably has sandwiches in it. I don't know if we see Axel still doesn't have a face. I don't know what has gone wrong with Axel's face, but never mind. Can you edit the like the actual miners, like Docs and Jet and Spark and so forth? Can you actually edit them in the LMS Explorer? Because maybe I should do that and give Axel's face back. Maybe I should do that if the game ain't gonna fix itself. Maybe I'll choose to fix it with my own two mittens. Maybe that would be sensible, but I might try that in the break between the levels. That might be a wise thing to investigate. Where should I put it? I should put it there for no particularly good reason, because this base has turned a bit squiffy. But never mind. I was going to say it's not my fault. No, it's completely and entirely and utterly and unendingly my fault. I'm the only person playing the bloody game. But that ain't the point. Ah dear, I do love playing this game, even after all these years of playing it, and it is slightly shocking to me to think that I have actually been playing this for years. It only feels like 5 minutes since we began, but no, I have been doing this. I've never observed a breakdancing spider before. No, we stopped doing a breakdancing spider before. He's a self-conscious breakdancing spider. Who would have thought that this combination could occur? Please be careful with that dynamite bandit, it might blow up. I mean, I hope that it blows up. If it didn't, it would be a very useless piece of dynamite that we'd have to send back to the dynamite shop. But, I just wanted to explode at the precise moment that we plan it to, which is, right about now. Thank you. That'd be a good way to test to see if the video and the audio are in sync, wouldn't I? Okay, let's see. I'm also going to get a support station once this is constructed so that we can start bringing down a few little vehicles, maybe get a small digger, maybe a couple of little trucks, maybe something to get through the hard rock so that we don't have to carry the dynamite quite so far. That could be beneficial. What could also be beneficial is if I remember what I'm doing. Where am I going to plonk this? I am going to plonk it there, I suppose, so they don't have to walk quite so far in order to get themselves a sandwich. Okay, well this all seems much the same as before. In fact, this cavern doesn't seem any larger than the standard one. Unless it's like, maybe going to like snake back, do you think? Like maybe there'll be a little pathway and it'll sort of snake all the way back here and there'll be a huge store of crystals around the back here, perhaps. I don't know. Let's have a little look on the radar, see if we can reveal any secrets. Oh my goodness, I called it, so I did. It looks like there's pathways on both sides of the cavern, actually, which is a rather creative use of the space. Because it does seem like, no, don't follow whoever that is. It seems, can we not just look straight down? Sorry, that sets off my fear of heights. Yeah, it seems like the Baz Mod levels always utilise the same level size, as it were, at least they have thus far, rather than, I was going to say rather than the remaster campaign. I actually have no idea if the remaster campaign uses the same level sizes or not. I has near Baldies. I've also realised we don't have nearly enough crystals for this, and there's nothing we can turn off, because that don't use power. Whoop-de-doodle! We're going to have to find more crystals. What was I yammering on about? I was yammering on about level sizes, wasn't I? Yes, I was going to say that the remaster campaign uses larger level sizes than the original level. Actually, I have no idea whether it does, because I've only seen one, and I didn't pay attention to that particular point when I was when I was going through the remaster version of Driller Knight for the sake of doing research about the remastered campaign. Let's... no, not that. No, not that either. Thank you very much for crying out loud. These hotkeys are useful, he says, pressing all of the wrong ones. Yes. If Baz is going to continue to use the original size of the level rather than expanding it for the sake of putting in more caverns, then occasionally things are going to have to get a bit creative with where new and extra caverns are laid out, and I think putting them along the side here is quite clever, although quite narrow, so there's not going to be a lot of room for wriggling around. But it looks, at least on this side, on that side, that there's a river along here, so we might need to get some sort of seafaring vehicle in order to navigate across there. Can we see anything on the other side of here? Not really, no. Can I send somebody to, can I send me, with my scanning hat, over here for a wee moment to, no, I'm not detecting any water. No, so maybe the other side is a little bit more tame when it comes to the old wobbliness of nature. Now that we've had we haven't had anybody down here, my giddy aunt. If I send a few people down here to reinforce these bits, then maybe we'll actually get a few geological scans over here. So let's, because I'm really curious to see what's behind here, because look, there's definitely a pathway that snakes through here, which would then break out behind this wall. The question is whether there's anything on the far side of here. So, we still do not have enough for any vehicles, but let me have this stuff cleared, and then we can blast through here, and hopefully we'll find a cure of my infernal hiccups along the way. Wouldn't that be just peachy? In fact, if we set it to blow now, by the time someone comes back with it, then we should be about sorted. Right then, I reckon we can have ourselves a little digger now, and I'm going to put myself in it because I'm in charge and I say so. So I'll pop myself in there, even though I'm not actually going to be able to do an awful lot of important work, because I'm only going to be able to drill through the standard bits of rock. But we will pretend like that isn't a point of considerable consideration. Now, where's my dynamite? There it is, blending in with Bandit's shirt. I do like how they have the dynamite literally in their mouth. I feel like that's another really safe thing to do. Don't know why I was surprised by that. I could have seen on the map here that we need more. Yes, well, the looks of it, with the amount of hard rock that we've got, actually, it might be worth investing in something even stronger, like a granite grinder, perhaps. Yeah, there's not anything through here. In fact, it doesn't look like we can bust, because this side isn't going to bust through because we've got hard rock there, and this side isn't going to bust through, so it looks like this is going to be the way to go, and then that'll probably branch off here towards the river and then snake back around over here for the sake of doing other stuff. How is the frame rate? Generally acceptable by the rough look of things. Oh right, that is a relief. Okay, we've got a few more bits and pieces, but not quite as much as I might like. Slightly squiffy frame rate. Yeah, that looks a little smoother. Right then, yes, no, sorry, this game seems to be a little, not squiffy with the frame rate in the game. The frame rate in the game is always fine, but it's my own fault for not having a slightly more powerful computer, because naturally it prioritizes the game over the recording, which does frustrate me slightly, because to me the recording's far more important than the bleeding game. But never mind, none of that matters. What matters is that I really want to see what's on the other side of here, and I want to get on with it a little bit faster than the dynamite is permitting me to. So I need to upgrade this, if I can remember how the bleeding game works. I need to build this, which is going to be a little tricky because there's not a hell of a lot of space left. Let's plonk it over here for no widely sensible reason. Okay, good, a couple more crystals there, for that I'm pretty grateful. Let's reinforce that and clear that up. And to be honest, we might as well beam this thing up in a minute, because I really don't see that there's much point in keeping it around. So, let me send you... Now, of course you didn't see me. You don't have any eyes. You don't have a face. Oh dear. So when you build a figure too quickly and you accidentally put the face on back to front. Perhaps that is what has occurred with poor old Axel. Never mind. Let's pop that down there, and then they can get to building that, and then we'll get a bigger machine. And if we bring this over here and beam it up, we should have a couple more crystals for doing that. And worst comes to the worst, now that I think about it, I can actually turn this off, because of course we don't need the oxygen. We only really need the sandwiches, which we can get out of the canteen as well, so I can power that down for the crystal as and when necessary. Is there two crystals there sitting right on top of each other, or am I going insane and thinking that I'm crazy? No, it does say that it needs two crystals. Maybe Axel took one with him when he stood up. I don't know the answers to these questions. I'm just sitting here feeling a little bit confused. But never mind any of that. Never mind any of that rubbish. It's, I don't know, I want to see what's on the other side. I want to explore. It's like playing the game new all over again. Okay, we have 6 crystals to spare, which I think is exactly what you need for a granite grinder now that I think about it. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's put Sparks in there, because he's actually got a hat that seems vaguely suitable for going on a mining expedition. And I don't really have the crystals to upgrade this, but never mind. We can bring these crystals back, and then that should be enough. Where could I put an upgrade station? We'll put one there, just to create the world's most higgledy-piggledy base. But never mind. The higgledy-piggledy rating doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that I can't be bothered to fix it and redo everything. The problem is that I didn't plan ahead. I was just thinking this would be a little dinky level, and we wouldn't need to go through at more than a bit. But of course we do. Okay, it might be that Phil keeps pressing the wrong buttons. Yeah, not more of a situation. It might be that the cave sort of splinters off, and this pathway comes down to the south, and then that one goes off to the north. Perhaps. Is this loose rock on the other side? Oh, it is. Hallelujah. It makes me very happy. Let's break our way through here, and then we'll bust down this single piece here, because then that'll expose these 2 bits, and I can use a bit of dynamite to finish that job off. And redirect the... No, I won't, because I have completely forgotten how the collateral damage of walls works. I should emphasize, throughout this series, when I've said many times that I know lots about Rock Raiders, I do, but I'm simultaneously incredibly forgetful and stupid. So when you put those two things together, it kind of leads to a unreasonable level of overconfidence. Alright, well this is a convenient little shortcut that we've got ourselves here, so let's get the granite grinder upgraded, and in the meantime I'm going to get us a little truck. What? What do you mean no valid spawn points? Oh no, you mean not enough resources. Sorry, I'm imagining things. I'm imagining things because I'm reading the wrong thing, aren't I? Let me turn that off as well, and that still won't be enough. Excellent. Right, come on you. Let's send you off to get that done, and then we'll turn that back on, and then we will upgrade this. And then we can start getting, if I was to upgrade that as well, get it going a little quicker. There we go. I've always thought that when it looks, when it's upgrading something, it's like it's knighting something. When they put the sword on the shoulder, it looks a bit like that to me. So it does. Probably doesn't look that way to anyone else, because I'm sure everyone else looks at things with sort of reasonable, sensible eyes instead of the mad imagination of a lunatic. But never mind. Let's bring this over here. Oh, this. Okay, so this does lead up and around. This is all hard rock, and I don't know if I can be bothered to break through there, because then we're going to reach another impasse. An impasse? An impasse is what I meant to say, which is going to leave us a little bit stuck. So let me set a couple of other bits and bobs to get blown out, because I'll just use dynamite on this, I think, and then Then we can try to work our way through there off-camera, quite literally, while we go through here, which ought to be a bit more exciting. I also realised the river's on that side. Dear. The thing is that I think of that is like forward, and forward to me is up, and the fact that this is kind of facing the other direction is a little bit confusing for my face. But never mind my confused face. Let's just continue to break our way through here. Can I set dynamite on the piece behind it? Well, the button's highlighted, but it doesn't actually do anything. Because you can do that with bits of loose rock that are like one piece behind another. Can we find a piece like that? No, I want like 2 bits of loose rock behind it, like this one, for example, you see. So I can put down a message or a command to say, mine this piece out, and it will be once we gain access to that, you see. So if I drill this out, then that's a nice little collection. Then this one will automatically become available, and someone will go off to do it, which is very nice. I like the fact that you can do that. You can only do it sort of one in, I think. I'm not going to have an opportunity to test that, but I've never done it further than one wall inside. But it is a nice way of setting it up now, because that one didn't work. You can see, you can tell that. Okay. So let's see what we've got here. There's something here that looks interesting. I think that's a recharge scene? No, that's an interesting. I really struggle to tell the difference between the lime green and the lemon yellow of the energy crystal seams and the recharge seams that you get here. It confuses me, so it does. Alright, let's see if we break through here, if that will bring in a path that comes down here. Because if that does, that would give us another seam, and then we might be able to get ourselves another truck. No, this clearly is not going to work. Presumably then it's a bit further up here, and then there's a path that snakes off a little bit later. Interesting. I do like the way that the caverns are laid out in the Baz Mod levels. They seem rather well thought out. Not to imply that the original designs weren't well thought out, but I think, I don't know, maybe it was aimed at slightly too young of an audience, perhaps? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was the fact that perhaps they were assuming that the game would appeal to a younger demographic without realising the slightly older demographic that either would come to love it when that younger demographic turned into an older demographic, or perhaps it appealed to older people even at the time. I don't know. Is this? No, this is hard rock, isn't it? Yes, this sort of medium green is the hard rock compared to this darker green. Sorry, would you stop going to do that piece and let someone else do it? Thank you very much. Thank you. I am glad we reached a mutually agreeable compromise here. Would you stop it? Thank you. Right, here we go. Let me set another piece of this to blow up. Yeah, I don't know if this appealed to, oh gosh, I have to confess something now, don't I? I'm going to confess something really embarrassing and stupid in a minute. It's going to go right back to what I was saying about me knowing lots about Rock Raiders. Yeah, I don't know if this game appealed to older people at the time, or whether, well, that sped things up dramatically. Or whether it's just the fact that it appealed to kids when the game was released, and then those kids grew up in the as they are wont to do. So what I have to confess is that I have been under a illusion for my entire life, it seems. I have said several times throughout the series that LEGO Rock Raiders was released in 1995, thus making it nearly 30 years old. It was not. It was released in 1999. I have no idea where I got the idea that it was released in 95 from, but I looked it up, and it was not released in 95, it was released in 99. Which also means that the PS1 version of Rock Raiders was not released 4 years after the release of the PC version. It was released the same year as the PC version, which means it could not have been any kind of response to this game, because it hadn't been out long enough, and goodness knows the internet didn't exist in its current form back then. Oh, goodness gracious me. What a pickle of lilies we've found ourselves within. Well, this is interesting, because this has sped things up dramatically, but, have we found yes, we found that now, so that's all been sorted out, and we've got all of that jazz that needs doing. Speaking of things that need doing, we really ought to get a loader dozer. We really ought to get a loader dozer. I reckon you could drive a loader dozer for us. And I will upgrade it as well to get its engine a bit faster so we can get a few of these bits and pieces drilled out. Now, is there anything on the far side? Is there anything on the far side of here? No, there is not. There might be a crystal or two, but oh goodness. Nice little heap of them over there. Very nice indeed. Aha, just what I was hoping for. Okay. A bit less than I was hoping for, but the concept that I was hoping for, at least. The concept, if not the quantity. Let's get another little truck as well, I reckon. Okay, so yeah, we've got 3 more there, we've got 4 or 5 coming back, and then we've got this little heap over here. So I don't reckon we're going to have to beam up any buildings or vehicles, but I do want to see if there's anything back along here. I somehow doubt it. It doesn't quite seem to fit with the rest of the level for there to be anything hidden along here within these rocks. I mean, like any little piles of crystals and so forth. But we might find 1 or 2, so it's worth drilling the place out. I don't like to leave it. I don't like to leave the job half done. Good, we've got everything over there. There's just a heap of ore that we're going to end up leaving behind, unfortunately, because hooray! I should like to keep playing the game, please. Yes, we're slightly nervous about pressing those buttons because I never see them frequently enough, and they keep changing them as well to actually remember which button is which. And for some bizarre reason, the words are not enough to convince me that I'm pressing the correct buttons. It does strike me that I brought down one of these things and I never actually put anybody in it, which was a huge waste of time and resources, but never mind. It's not the first time that I have been a complete numpty. Oh good, there are a few more crystals in there. Yes, as much as I'd like to strip mine this place for every single modicum of ore that we can find, it simply isn't going to happen because I would run out of words. Quite simply run out of words to yammer on about. Alright then, that is everything mined. No, it's not. Hold on a tizzly tick. I'll not be leaving here without having drilled out absolutely everything, even though we no longer get those very bizarre screens that you usually get at the end of the levels. In the original game, where you'd get a kind of a mission report, if you like, that told you how many crystals you got, how many bits of ore you got, your time, the level name, and certain percentage scores of things like ore collected and drills walled out. Drills walled out? Yes, drills that you wall out, because that's a random conjugation of words that means the grand total of frick all. Right. I can't even blame it on the heat, because it's only 11 in the morning, so it's not even that warm yet. Oh, my bloody September heat waves. Right, let's drill this out, and then we will have walled out all the drills. Thank you very much. See what I'm going to do, actually. I apologise for any arachnid fans in the audience, but you've got dreadful tastes for being fans of arachnids, so I'm just going to play a little game for 2 minutes, where I tell you what would be a brilliant game to play, actually. You know, it would be a fantastic game to play. Seeing if you can jump on the spider. Ah, for goodness sake, stand still! And then squash one. Right, come here, I'm going to squish you! That did not work, but maybe... Okay, yawns. I want to see this in the next Olympics. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Docs, you absolute nincompoop, you killed my sport! Never mind, I expect to see someone win a gold medal in that at the next Olympics, whenever the hell that is. Right then, that was a fun attempt at a game, but it didn't quite pan out. But never mind, I reckon we've drilled out everything, we've got all the crystals we need, and there's only some more left over, so I'm not overly fussed about that. Right then, just let that stuff get deposited in for no particularly good reason, and we will leave it at that, I reckon. And then we can get on with the next level, which I think is Frozen Frenzy, which would be interesting to see how Baz does.
All 5 energy crystals.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Get idiot. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Baz does monsters.
Frozen Frenzy.
Indeed. But before we do Frozen Frenzy and the monsters, A, I'm going to let the cat in, and B, I'm going to take a short break, which I forgot to do in the last episode, because I think having a little 2-minute break between levels in Baz Mod is quite useful for me to rest my voice. So, yes, we should do Frozen Frenzy next.
Frozen Frenzy.
Yes, I know, I said it for myself. Thank you very much, Chief. I know you feel like you're in charge, but I'm the commanding officer, and I've got the hat. So, deal with it. Right then. I've given Axel his face back. It seems that you can do that, and for some bizarre reason it's just decided to stop loading the print for his face. But never mind. Let's get on with Frozen Frenzy. Haven't seen this one in a while. Also didn't realise that Dox and Sparks had identical twins. But that's a bit weird. Ah, good day's work, mate. You got us the whole of 3 inches closer to our goal. I like the slugs just sort of wander around amiably. Oh, hooray.
The scanners on board the LMS Explorer have been monitoring the movement of large, unidentified life forms that appear to be made from ice. We cannot endanger our mining activities and must defend Rock Raider HQ against any possible threat. Protect Rock Raider HQ by using the electric fences, and repair any damage that occurs by training some Rock Raiders as engineers. You will need to fend off any attacks and continue to collect energy crystals until we have enough to transport the Throne Crusher. The tunnel transporter is in a nearby cave waiting to airlift us to a safer cavern, but our only way of reaching it is by drilling through hard rock with a Throne Crusher or using dynamite to blast our way through. Take care, Rock Raider.
Righty-ho then. So, sorry, my face of worry is that I've suddenly just realised that, of course, at the end of the last Baz Mod video, I put the slider for slug spawning through the ceiling, didn't I? I don't think there's any slimy slug holes in... That is still such a disgusting phrase to say. I don't think there are any more slimy slug holes in this level, but I really think I should check that slider to make sure that it is down. Right then, due to the redesign of my character, and not because I'm running out of ideas of stuff to do in this series, I think it is only appropriate that I get in character and wear my appropriate character's uniform, and so that he doesn't feel fully usurped, I am going to allow the Chief in order to observe the mission as it progresses. I can't even tell if that's on camera because the brim is in the way, but it doesn't matter. He can watch and advise as we continue in this most dangerous situation. When do you think the first monster is going to spawn? I dread to think. Right then. Sorry. I don't wear this hat very often. Mainly because it's ever so slightly too small for me, which means it cuts off the circulation to my top of my head. But never mind. Let's give people guns first and foremost, so that we are vaguely prepared in the inevitable situation that somebody turns up here and decides to eat our face. Then, once everyone is fully prepared for warfare, I will check the settings. Right. Gameplay. Yeah, this is slug spawn. What? Monster spawn it off? Oh, that's probably because again I was doing back to basics thing, wasn't I? Right, there we are. Everything back on 100. 100 basic percent. Right then. That would have been really embarrassing if I'd forgotten to check that, wouldn't I? I thought, oh, Baz has made this level real easy. There's no monsters spawned in no place. This is too easy. I do not approve of my utter inane stupidity. Oh yeah, probably should have given them hammers as well. Now that I think about it, that would have been sensible to do. Yeah, there we go. Right then, we can watch a bit of war. Oh, it's actually, you know what? I've actually just realised. This is actually the first time I'm playing a level. I forgot about the little monsters. This is the first time I'm actually playing a level that uses the lava or the ice monsters. Properly playing a level that uses lava or ice monsters since the new textures came in, which is exciting. We get to use the new exciting textures, which have been designed to look a lot more like the ones in the cutscenes. Is the phraseology that I am attempting to find with my face. Told you this cuts off the blood circulation. You wouldn't think it would happen this quickly, but here we are. Here's the situation. Okay, we should be alright with the, we should be alright with the monsters for a minute. I need to start building up a base, and we have to kind of make an executive decision here. And as the man with the hat, I feel like it's my decision to make, with the advice of my supervisor here, if I could find him. There he is. Let's upgrade this. We have to make the executive decision of how we're going to play this, whether we're going to bust through here first and get access to the... Oh my god, I always forget what a drop that is. And get access to the tunnel transport and the little power station that's over there, or whether we're going to sort of mine out everything else first and then go there at the end. Right, let me... We really shouldn't be just standing around doing the grand total diddly squat, but here we are standing around doing the grand total diddly squat. Let's get as much of this built as we can, and then we'll go off on a hunt for a few crystals. In fact, I might reinforce this stuff because there's a seam behind here. Yes, there it is. There's a seam behind there which could prove vital for the construction of all of this various jazz. So let's send these people over here to drill this out. Although saying that, I mean, in the original level it was just a straight line path through here with a bit of hard rock in the way. But Baz might have changed things. I mean, thus far I think the original layout of the mission has always been exactly the same as the original mission in the Baz Mod version. It's just the sort of paraphernalia around the outside which has been updated. So I love that you're carrying that instead of a crystal, which is like, you know, someone carrying a stamp instead of the crown jewels. But never mind. not that they're a hell of a lot safer over here than they are over there, but you know. Let's pretend that everything's fine. Let's also have a look on the radar while they're wandering around, see if we can see anything a bit different than before. Not yet, no. No, everything seems to be much the same thus far. I'm not seeing anything along the back here, mainly because there's barely space for anything along the back here. But yeah, I do want to break through here as well. The thing is that when you break through here, of course, you expose this piece, and then when you break through here, you expose that piece. And when you break through there, you expose that piece, which become avenues for monsters. So I'm trying to get everything else sorted out first before we do that. So how much more ore for this do we need? We need 6 more bits, and we've got 4 on the way. See, this is what I'm worried about. I'm worried about the crystals turning up before... Oh, rather, I'm worried about the monsters turning up simultaneously as the crystals turning up, which could prove to be a little detrimental to the undigested nature of the crystals, shall we put it as such? Let's break through here as well, because I think there's hard rock on the far side of here. No, there's loose rock on the far side of here. There's also no sandwich vendors. What a terrible state of affairs we've got ourselves into where there's no sandwich vendors. I was going to talk about. I was thinking about something to talk about in the break, and I completely forgot what it was. I remember what it was now. It was actually the PS1 version of Rock Raiders. I'm going to try my best not to talk too much about PS1 Rock Raiders, because if you're not familiar with the sort of madness that I chuck out around here, then I honestly can't blame you. But no, of course, a few weeks ago we put the first episode of the PS1 Rock Raiders video out, which goodness, that was a word soup, wasn't it? Let me try that again. A few weeks ago, the first video on PS1 version of Rock Raiders was published. That was a little less disastrous. Which will continue. I don't think it'll be a dreadfully long series, but I'll probably see that game to completion. Assuming that, of course, people still want to see that. But no, I'm going to try and keep sort of Manic Miners discussion in Manic Miners videos and PS1 in PS1 videos. I feel like that's a bit more suitable rather than just assuming that everybody's watching everything, because I feel like that's not fair on folks that just want to watch one thing and are here for one thing, not the other thing. Let's break through here as well, because I want to get to the bit of hard rock. I don't know why, but I do. No, this looks to be all the same thus far. I don't imagine that it would be different, because it seems like as I said, the standard that Baz has gone for is to keep the core of the mission the same and only change the stuff around the edges. Whether that was a creative decision or a constraint that was imbued upon the level design at the time, I don't know. But no, what I was thinking about, because I think it is somewhat pertinent to Manic Miners, is the fact that in the PS1 version of Rock Raiders, of course, when you select a character to play as, such as Sparks or Axel or Jet or Bandit or Dox, they have each got little individual bonuses. And I remember reading one of the little tips that appears. I'm pressing the wrong button again. Sorry. Of course, I start pressing all the wrong buttons literally the same day that I start yammering on about how good I am with all of the hotkeys. Let's put a little bit of fence across here, I reckon, just so that we are good and safe. As an extra line of defense. Probably should have put it a bit further away. Now that I think, because I'm gonna struggle to put other things that I need in here. But never mind. Yes, I'm going to put a piece there because I also want to build a building there, and then I probably won't build something there actually because that'd be too close to be able to throw boulders in it, and I might put it there instead. That might be a bit safer. Well, good. That's the oxygen situation sorted out. If nothing else, so let's bring down a few more peeps. But yes. The individual Rock Raiders have their own little benefits that affect the gameplay in the PS1 version of Rock Raiders. So I remember reading a little tooltip, as I think the technical term for them is, that appear at the bottom of the screen when you're reading the briefing, that says that the individual Rock Raiders, they are just cosmetic at the moment. And I don't know whether that's a holdover from the past when there was plans to make the individual Rock Raiders have some sort of benefits or some sort of boons or advantages that others didn't, because the only real advantage they have is that they're automatically trained with whatever their distinction is, like sailor or pilot or geologist or whatevers. But perhaps if they are still looking for things to do as little benefits, and they want to sort of keep it in canon, I suppose, for want of a better way of phrasing it, perhaps they could draw upon the little benefits that they've got in the PS1 Rock Raiders version in order to give them inspiration for ideas. Like, for example, Dox, the geologist, can see a bit further on the radar, so maybe his scanner could be physically have like a larger radius than I need to make sure that the folks who don't have guns get guns, don't I? There we go, that's better, because then we can start pushing out into here, but I want us to be ready for that when it happens, because I imagine quite a few villainous ice cubes will decide to attempt to murder me. Yes, or for example, I think Axel can automatically repair... Excuse me. Thank you. Really would have expected like 12 monsters to jump at this point. You know what, for the fun of it, because, you know, I have been talking up the fact that apparently I'm good at this bloody game. Let's chuck them up a little bit. Why not? The answer to that is because it's stupidly dangerous and everyone's probably going to die, and I'm probably going to fail miserably. But hey-ho, at least that might be vaguely entertaining for you. Let's zoom out a bit so that we can actually look at the bit of the map that we're working in. Yes, I think Axel can automatically repair vehicles that he's driving, and Axel can drive vehicles a little bit faster, or maybe that's Sparks, I can't remember. And, no, Sparks can pick up twice as much stuff, and Jet can pilot vehicles a little faster. Where's the second monster? Oh goodness, they're standing in exactly the same place. That's not the world's most sensible plan that they ever had, but never mind. I don't suppose they had many other opportunities, apart from this one, and 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 not that one, because they can't come out, it seems. But it seems that this at least is going to make things a little bit more exciting. I love their eyes. I love their glowing eyes. I don't know exactly how I feel about their big knobbly-bobbly noses, but I really do like their glowing eyes. The eyes are rather cool, and going over to clear that is rather silly. But never mind. yeah, so perhaps little boons like that could be useful for giving these minus boons if they decide that is something that they want to do. So, for example, you know, Jet could drive the tunnel scout and the tunnel transport like at a 10% faster speed, or Axel could slowly but automatically repair any small vehicle he's kept driving. I'm beginning to slightly regret doing this, not massively, but slightly. I do like that you can damage them while they're climbing out of walls. That's quite useful and quite advantageous. I also noticed that we were able to shoot a monster while he was climbing back inside a wall, and that is especially useful because a constant annoying point is that a monster can sometimes come out, find a crystal and eat it, and then be injured as he's running away, but then begin the animation for climbing back inside the wall and escape with the crystal, meaning it's gone forever. Versus if you were able to kill the monster before he got in the wall, when then the crystal would appear amongst the knobbly-bobbly remains of his corpse. Is that everything reinforced? I reckon so, so it's safe to mine this out now, isn't it? Yep. Good, and then that'll give us enough to get everything powered, and we can begin work on this as well. I am beginning to think we should push this slightly further back, but if I do, it's not actually going to connect to anything, which is slightly stupid of me. Although saying that, I can just erect another layer of it, can't I? Which would be sensible. Yeah. So I just want to keep them a little bit further away from home, because if they were standing like right here, they might be able to chuck a rock. I don't know. But no, as the monsters can now die while they're still climbing in, that might alleviate that problem, where they get to the wall, they start climbing in, but then you kill them so you can still get the crystal back, which would be lovely, and would certainly make it less likely that monsters would escape with crystals while you are trying to keep them all for our greedy little crystal hoarding selves. Because I've spoken about this before, and I still believe it to be highly true, that we have just turned up on somebody else's doorstep and started stealing the food of these indigenous creatures that just want to live here peacefully. But, we're going to pretend like none of that is true, and that we're not breaking some kind of horrific human rights laws here, so, which I mean performing horrific breakages of, not the laws themselves are horrific, and so on, but no. Anyway, to return to the point which I keep getting distracted from, because my giddy aunt wearing this hat is very hot. You never realise how much heat you actually lose out of the top of your head until you wear a hat. But yeah, I think that if they do want to implement little bonuses for the Rock Raiders that have names, then I think that the PS1 version of Rock Raiders is definitely the place to look, because that keeps it kind of in canon, and it's something that was designed by the like an idea that was come up with by the actual team behind Rock Raiders, rather than just being implemented just because people wanted to be. Because that is one of the I don't know how to describe it, one of the sort of bit of ethos, I suppose, for want of better words, behind the design of this game, in that the developer has tried to keep it in the same spirit of Rock Raiders, because certain stuff has been suggested to be added to it, which has been declined to be added to it, for the simple reason that it doesn't sort of fit with the spirit of Rock Raiders. I can't think of any examples of that off the top of my head, which is a little embarrassing. But I sincerely approve of that. The only thing that I can actually think of, and this isn't a perfect example, but it's the only one that I can think of off the top of my head, is the little prints that you can get for your custom miners, like the ones that I've got for little me here. How do I drop this with difficulty? How do I do this? There we are, my little prints that you can't see because there's a thing in the way. I don't have a waistcoat that crazy. I have a jacket that crazy, but I don't have a waistcoat that crazy. so that's good, isn't it? This is less good. But yeah, they're limiting the prints, at least the official ones. I think you can like get custom ones that you can download that aren't in the base game as well. But the sort of official ones in this unofficial product, as it were, the ones that actually come with the game when you download it from the developer's page, are all limited to the pre-2000 era of stuff. So you wouldn't see any from Power Miners or Star Wars or any of the later themes. You'd only see the ones from the old 90s video games like Lego Island and Lego Racers and that sort of thing, which I think is good because otherwise it's not really Rock Raiders anymore, is it? I mean, it's not Rock Raiders, it's Manic Miners, but it's not it's not really sort of maintaining the spirit of the game to include a load of stuff that doesn't really meld with Rock Raiders. So that's something I approve of. But yeah, I drastically approve of the way that this game has been designed because it feels like someone with a lot of care for the actual game has done this, which is nice because all too often a remake of a game is made by someone that doesn't really care about the game or the giddy. If a monster spawns from there, we are so frickin' dead. Nope, we're fine. I take my hat off to you, Sparks, for your excellent workmanship, and definitely not because that let a nice cool breeze over the top of my head. I did not think this silly idea through, did I? Never mind. Let's continue to blast our way through, because there do seem to be a good few crystals here, which are vital, because we need to get ourselves a, Actually, no, I was going to say I'll get a granite grinder, but, no, I won't get a granite grinder, actually. I will save up and I'll get a chrome crusher. Because, yeah, they keep spawning one on top of the other. That's not quite what I meant when I said I wanted more rock monsters to spawn, and by rock monsters I mean ice monsters. I didn't kind of mean I want more to spawn, I more meant I wanted them to spawn in more places, and more frequently, rather than to continue to spawn at pre-designated intervals at pre-designated locations in larger quantities. I wanted to murder more monsters, not start murdering the monster twins. But never mind. What was I talking about? I was talking about my hat, and then I completely lost my train of thought. Oh well, never mind. If it was something that I was saying, it could not have been important. I don't believe that I've ever said anything important. I was talking about the Chrome Crusher. There we are. I knew waffling on would save me eventually. Yeah, let's keep working through it. Yeah, I'll get a Chrome Crusher actually, partly because the briefing mentioned it, and also because I show you the granite grinder all too often. I feel like. Is there anything else we can shut down? Not really. So we need Gideons coming out of a reinforced wall. Now that's interesting. I presume that they started the animation before they. Yeah, see, look, we got both of them before they went in, so that's good, isn't it? It's gone again. Chrome Crusher. Let's hope that's what I was talking about. Yeah, I show you the Chrome Crusher all too often, I feel like, and oh gosh. At least it's just the one. There we go. It's convenient they retreat when they get down to 20 health. I can't remember if they did that in the main game or not. I feel like they didn't. But if I remember correctly, I will go back to talking about the Chrome Crusher in a minute, but you know how much I love my tangents. Ever since I first introduced them in GCSE Maths. Right, sorry. Leave that absolutely appalling joke behind, and we'll get on with my my conversation about monsters. No, if I remember correctly, weren't the monsters sort of a one-shot kill in the original game? I feel like the rock monsters, at the very least, were a one-shot kill. Maybe the ice monsters were a little stronger, but the lava monsters were definitely stronger, because I remember the lava monsters being a humongous pain in the neck, due to the fact that they had way more health, and a blast from a laser beam didn't do all that much damage to injure them. So I certainly remember that, but whether the monsters were in fact a one-shot kill or not, I can't remember, because I don't have much memory of the rock monsters having a health bar in the same way that the Rock Raiders did. So maybe I'm imagining things, or maybe I should just go back and replay the game now that I have the facilities to, and I should check that. But never mind, I don't really have the opportunity to do that between now and the next second. So yeah, Chrome Crusher. With these crystals, that will actually allow us to get a Chrome Crusher. But Yeah, I think we should get the Chrome Crusher because I do show you the Granite Grinder an awful lot. As much as I do love the Granite Grinder, I think it's a really good vehicle and a really fun vehicle. Who should we get to drive it? The answer to that question is of course me, because I've just fallen over a spider, and now my shoes are utterly ruined. No, don't you even try it, Docs. That seat is reserved for my bum and not yours. Right, let me turn this off and turn that on so that we can... Oh, for crying out loud. For crying out loud. At least we can use the laser on this thing to defend ourselves as well. Oh my idiot. That's why the monsters keep spawning, because I haven't reinforced anything. Right, let's upgrade the engine first and foremost, so we can upgrade it from its 8 cylinders up to its 12, I think, if I can count. Then we'll upgrade its drill as well, which, if I remember correctly, gives it a second drill. Yes, indeed. I do wish it would stand stabilized long enough for me to see it. Then we'll upgrade its laser. Does that give it a second laser as well? I genuinely can't remember. No, it gives it this sort of funny battery pack thing, and then we'll also upgrade its scanner, which either gives it a scanner in the first place or upgrades its scanner. I can't quite remember which. There we are. It has an extra double layer green thing. Spiffing. Right then, we can now get on with drilling all of this stuff out without having to worry about nothing. So no, not that, for goodness sake. Too used to using a large mobile laser cutter. But yeah, if we drill through here, then we should find the thing that we're looking for relatively quickly. In fact, we can see it here on the map. Can we highlight this and see? A truck? Why is there a truck there? Okay, well, Baz has definitely changed something about the basic layout of the level. He's changed a lot about the basic layout of the level because this thing has been blocked off. Oh, this sneaky fellow. Right, idiot. Sorry, I am going to have to take this off for a minute because it is seriously cooking my head to do that. And my brain doesn't work very well even when it's got full circulation going on, so you'll forgive me if I'm slightly nervous about reducing its oxygenation any further. That's interesting, because there used to be 2 bits of hard rock here, which, in Manic Miners at least, were automatically reinforced, which I think was a unique example of an automatically reinforced wall, if you like. I don't think there was ever an example of that before. I have just realised the fact that there's nobody here means there's no one to pick up the crystals, which is a little silly of me. But if we keep drilling through here nice and quickly, then the monsters shouldn't have much of an opportunity to spawn. And if they do, then hopefully they'll attack the Chrome Crusher instead of trying to eat the crystals. And I can also shoot them with the laser. Alright, they can't spawn out of corners, so we can stop there for a moment just to let people catch up and to give me a minute to spawn a few little trucks. Because I reckon we need some. Have you got your face now, Axel? Yes, you do. Excellent. Of this I am grateful. Yeah, if you want, as soon as we get a second one down, you can have a little drag race if that would so entertain you. See what would entertain me if we upgraded this so that it went a little faster, and then suddenly realised that we're out of ore, which means we don't have the opportunity to upgrade that any further because I have been most stupid. Oh well, never mind. There's loads of people standing here now, so it doesn't matter if a monster spawns because we can just shoot them in the face log. Okay, this is going to rather screw up my my defense. My defense. Haha. That was the wrong button. I sincerely apologise. That was quite possibly the worst pun I've ever said in my entire life. And let's be honest, there's no such thing as a good pun. Okay, this should give us a good store of ore. Although saying that, there's a heap over here that they could get as well if they so desired. Hang on. Wait, what did that say? No, it just said lava. Sorry, I thought it said undiscovered lava for a moment there, and I got a little excited. Oh blast! Oh blast him in the face! Okay, this is a real serious pickle that we've got ourselves in here. Shoot him in the bum! Shoot him in the bum! Excellent work. My bum marksmanship has improved massively. Yeah, I need to go through this quite quickly, and I really shouldn't have drilled through here, because I should have left the, I should have waited until we had a lot more little trucks before I attempted to do this, but never mind. Actually, let's leave that one. I'm just going to sort of leave you standing here as a kind of, why are you going to clear that piece, you absolute masochist? I'll leave him here as a kind of a turret for the moment, because I need to spawn some more trucks and get more people into trucks. But yeah, there's some lava over here, which is going to be fun. Just tell me it doesn't erode. It's my ever-present question when it comes to lava in this game. Just tell me it doesn't erode. If it, just tell me we don't have the ore for what I want to do. Just tell me it doesn't erode. So long as it doesn't erode, I'll be a happy bunny. Okay, this is new, because there was never this pathway that went through here before. So perhaps that leads off into that area. That would probably be the most sensible, unless it's going to come out along here and then draw along there, perhaps. One doesn't know, but one is going to find out. Right, I reckon we can upgrade you next, and then bring down another truck and pop you in there. There we go. Now we can upgrade you. And do we have enough to upgrade you? Yes, and once Axel puts that stuff in, we should have enough to do the other bit as well. No, not quite. Who would have thought the Brickster would come to our rescue? Right then, let's reward the Brickster by giving him a sit down, which I imagine that he would appreciate after a good half an hour of running around. Goodness knows I would enjoy as well. My cutie heart. You people just won't learn, will you? Stop it. I have noticed that they do seem to not clear rubble that has been caused by a landslide on a wall which has been reinforced, almost as if they know that clearing the rubble is pointless because more rubble is going to come down in a minute, and there's also no ore to be garnered by doing that. So they are quite sensible in that manner, but they don't seem to be sensible enough to clear pre-existing rubble that's been uncovered that that is in danger of having a landslide above it, which is a little bit of a shame. But I feel like this game should continue to have slightly squiffy AI for the sake of what I was saying before about staying true to the spirit of Rock Raiders with its famously squiffy AI. I think it would be sensible to that's interesting. I think it would be sensible to maintain a degree of squiffitude. That's interesting. That's the range on the... Yeah, I think the range on these has been decreased actually, because I feel like you could shoot further than that before without draining a crystal. Except you can go from this distance to this distance, and it's still only one crystal, which is a bit weird. But never mind. I also noticed they've changed it from being a green crystal to being an orange crystal. Orange? Purple. Not orange. Purple. Maybe the blood hasn't come back to my brain yet. Maybe I should stand on my head for a while. We're never gonna find a bend here, are we? Never mind. Let's keep busting through here and see what we discover. Yeah, I approve of the fact that they've changed it to an image of a drained crystal, because I think that's much more what's the word I'm looking for? Like intuitive, I suppose. Like to explain what's going to happen to your stores of crystal if you fire. My giddy aunt. So it is further up there, and we need to bust through. It looks like there's a river here, which kind of makes sense, because if I remember correctly, there is like a little river that comes along here, and then there's a little sort of a dip with a waterfall and a little pond there. So it would make sense that there would be a river running along here. It's just interesting that we're going to have to traverse that, because that's going to be a little tricky. Particularly if there's going to be hard rock between the end of the river and the place where the tunnel transport is, because that means I'm not going to be able to do it with a something as simple as a tunnel scout. I'm going to have to get like a tunnel transport to carry this thing over there, because of course I can't carry a piece of dynamite with me in a tunnel scout. You can't carry dynamite with you in tunnel scouts, can you? You can't do that. Surely not. Surely that would be the dreams of a madman to do such things. Because I know you can carry some resources with you. Like I think it says here in the hover scout, you can also carry a resource with you into the vehicle. Now I can't remember if that's true of others. I know it's true of the small transport truck that if a person is carrying a crystal or a piece of ore and then they get into the truck, it automatically goes into the bay. Which is a nice touch. Might set that to be reinforced and leave you there. Can I find a little example of that? Because that would be kind of cool to show you. Was there a little piece of ore that I saw somewhere? No, I was dreaming it. No surprises there then. Oh, for goodness sake, found a bit menial labour then. Fine, I'll sing for more supper if I must. Right, there we are. That's enough singing. Stop it! Is what everybody ever says to me as soon as I start singing about anything. Right. Let me see if I can demonstrate getting into a this. Because if I get into here, ba-doink, there we are. It goes straight into the bay. Isn't that lovely? I have realised that I've been slightly stupid in doing this because, of course, I need some loader dozers, don't I? Because if I don't have a loader dozer, then the rubble isn't going to get cleared, and we're not going to, This is good. I approve of this. So what's happened, what I've just realised has happened, which I never twigged before because I'm a frickin' idiot, is that, I mean, I do presume that this is vaguely crescent. Let me just do a little bit of murdering, which is going to drain some crystals, I imagine. No, it doesn't seem to be doing it. Yes, I know it's an ice monster. I'm trying to shoot it in the face. Don't hit me! No! Stop it! You beast! There we are. That's that situation dealt with. No, what I've noticed is that because I've got everything I need to make any of these vehicles, apart from the docks for creating the sea craft, I can spawn whatever I want. But then if I turn this off, which means there's no valid spawn point for making one of these, then it's like I can't have one. And it won't let me have it because, yeah, oh, look, it says this building requires power. How very clever. I approve of this. Right then, let's carry on with the business to hand. You can get in there, which is a bit of a trek, but it needs doing. Oh my giddy aunt, there's so much water everywhere. Water everywhere, and you probably shouldn't drink it because, let's be honest, water on an alien planet is probably a bit squiffy. Okay, let's see what we've got on the other side of here, apart from a hell of a lot of danger. Because I kind of want to reveal this, but I also don't want to get myself in a dangerous situation where monsters start appearing, because this is awesome and I love it and I want to keep it forever and love it forever, but I also kind of want to get rid of this hard rock before the monsters spawn and decide to eat everything. If monsters spawn there and eat those crystals, game over. Well, for those crystals anyway, not for like, you know, everything else, but let's get a tunnel transport and let's put Jet in it as soon as I can find out. Yes, we've talked about this before. Don't drive and do drugs. It's not safe to do on the road, and it's not safe for anyone else. So please don't do it in the air either. Right, and then we'll send her over to get those crystals before they hopefully get eaten. Log. Where? Not there. Where then? Oh dear. This is kind of the trouble with putting everyone in vehicles that I haven't twigged before. Run away! Thank you. Quickly, drive over here. Oh my giddy aunt. Oh my giddy aunt. This was a real stupid plan. Would you stop doing that, for crying out loud? Just shoot him. This has not gone tremendously well. I mean, giddy aunt. If you, I really should have got something a little bit more expedient. If he just walks into the fence, then that's fine. I don't care. But I kind of, I kind of need to, stop him bashing everything to bits. Come on, one more blast and he'll retreat. There we go. That's better. Right. Let me set you to reinforce this before everything goes awry, and then we'll see if we can figure out what the situation is. What the hell did I see? Oh, I saw a drained crystal. I didn't realise that could do that. Cool! I like that. That is cool. I have deemed it as such. Oh my god, I drained so many crystals. You still haven't gone and got those ones. Please, giddy aunt, do it myself if I have to. It also makes me realise something that I meant to say earlier when I was talking about the Chrome Crusher, and I never did. Of course, when we did Frozen Frenzy in the earlier part of the series, when I was just going through the standard campaign, of course, it was Frozen Frenzy where I first got the tunnel transport, and I picked up a Chrome Crusher with it, and I said that it was very, very cool. So, it only seems appropriate that we do that again for old times' sake. Okay. Relax. Breathe. Everything's fine, apart from most things. Oh, yeah. Let's, I presume we still can't upgrade this. No. Yeah, no upgrades initiated for that. Yeah, I can turn the lights on, however, which will make it look cool. Let's turn the lights on so that we can see where we're going. In the meantime, I'm going to send you to get upgraded with a new engine. I'm going to send you to get repaired. Anyone else need repairs? You need repair. Oh, you need a new engine as well, actually, now that I realise that you need new engines as well. I'm going to send you over here to do a bit more mining. Where's the Brickster gone? There's the Brickster. There we are. New engine for you as well. There we are. Is that everyone in a vehicle of one form or another? Yes. Where? There. Nowhere meaningful. Except it is sort of meaningful because I constantly forget that ice monsters can walk on water, because apparently they're divine. This one shouldn't matter hugely. So, let's go and pick that thing up. Yeah, this one shouldn't matter because there's no crystals out and about for them to faff around with. So this shouldn't matter hugely. Do you think if an ice monster walks over a spider, that would squish it? Do you think that would happen? I do not know. Let's get an action shot. Oh, there we are. That looks sort of cool. Oh wow, the camera even like vibrates. That's really cool, actually. I like that. Right then, let's bring you over here so that we can start mining this stuff out. Even though we could probably just bust through here and go from the other side, but never mind. Kitty, I'm gonna send you to get repaired. Not that way, I meant go the other way. Oh, for crying out loud, never mind. There isn't a way for him to get in there, is there? No, I don't think so. Let's just test and see. Oh, he's going to go to Boulder! Goodness! Oh, and the boulder actually matches the texture. That's a lovely touch. Can you actually throw that from there? No, you can't. You great big derp brain. Excellent. Now, if you'd kindly drop that. Thank you very much. We can start a breaking stuff. And I can realise that this is a dead end, which means I need somebody to come back and pick me up because I'm a bit stuck here. I have not done this tremendously sensibly. Where has my tunnel transport gone? Right, if you would like to come back and finish the job that you started a minute ago that I'm too incapable to finish on my own, then that'd be downright lovely. And now the granite grinder's sitting around with no jobs to do. Alright, let me drop the Chrome Crusher off here, and then we'll break through here, because I reckon, because there's like a cavern along here, and then there's a thing along here as well, so I reckon that'll allow us to punch through here, just about there, I reckon. And then we might find a way to bust through into this part of the river so that I can get a shortcut into there, but we shall have to wait and see. So, hang on a tizzity tick. What the hell happened there? That's so cool! I can shoot stuff while I'm flying! Great flying laser beams! That's cool! It's also really bloody warm in here. Never mind, it's this light that's the problem. Right? This light kicks out a huge volume of heat, which is a really stupid kind of light to have in a recording room. But Never mind. That's really cool, actually, and also really useful, because I remember a custom level that we played a long time ago. I can't remember the name of it. But, yeah, I remember it was like a big lava-y level. It was like, a bit like Lake of Fire, if I remember correctly. I don't know why I bother turning the action stations on, because that is not successful in the slightest. I'm gonna keep clicking until one of us dies, and it's probably going to be me because you seem to do more damage than I do. Oh my giddy aunt. I thought upgrading the laser on this thing would make it better. It doesn't seem to have done a lot of good. There we are, at least you're freaking dead now. It's really dangerous to leave so many unmined pieces of wall here. So actually let me reinforce a few. If I set these to be reinforced, then you can sort those out, can't we? And then I can mine out a few things on my own, and then I'll send it back to get mended while I reconnoitre the situation. But no, I remember a custom level that we did ages ago, or community level, as I think they're more officially titled these days. Forgive my old man terminology. But yes, it was like Lake of Fire, where there was like this big lava level, and it was all surrounded by lava, and you had to escape the Lake of Fire by breaking through some hard rock along a very far away wall, and the level defeated me, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. Somebody did suggest in the comments that you should get a large mobile laser cutter, pick it up with a transport truck, and then use that to shoot it, but I seem to remember experimenting with that and it not working, in the sense that you couldn't access the laser while the vehicle was being, I really should mine that out as well. I seem to remember testing that and it not working at the time, but of course, you know, that was a long time ago. That probably would have been back when we were like, probably even pre-Monsters, actually, pre-Monsters update, because once the Monsters came in and I was still doing custom levels, which I really want to get back into doing, so there's probably been loads of really good custom levels coming out at the moment, and yeah, if you've seen any good custom levels that you think are definitely worth me having a look at, feel free to suggest them, because it is a little difficult to research levels without sort of spoiling them too much. To find like spoiler-free information about them can be a little tricky sometimes. But yes, obviously, if anyone has any suggestions of custom levels that you'd like to see, then we can certainly do that. We can take a break from Baz Mod for an episode every hither and thither to do some custom levels if folks would like to see that. But yeah, anyway, to go back to the tangent that I tangented off once I was in the middle of my initial tangent, for crying out loud, for crying out, why do I keep doing that? That never achieves nothing. Where are they going? Nowhere. Right. Let me shoot you in the bum. Let me also watch the counter. Does it go down? Yes, it does. Okay, right. So the counter is going down. Okay, so one of them's getting a build-up. But that's alright. I could just, could everyone just get out of the bleeding way? I'm trying to shoot someone here. Thank you very much. My aim isn't tremendous. It's even worse when there's people in the way. Let me try and not shoot the whatever the hell that's called. The loader dozer, that's the word I'm looking for. Right, would you drop that, please? Thank you very much. I'm not going to kill this one. It's a kind of a peace offering. You think letting them live and not stealing all their food would be a more effective peace offering, but goodness knows I ain't gonna do that. But no, once the Monsters update came along, I tried to select missions that had monsters in them for the sake of having that sort of variable in there. Because of course, if there's monsters, then I don't know where they're going to spawn from or how often they're going to spawn or anything like that. So it makes that a bit more fun in the custom levels, because of course most of the fun of the custom levels comes from the fact that I don't know what's going on, I don't know where anything is, and it's all new and we're exploring it together, as opposed to these levels, which are a bit more of a situation of me knowing slightly what I'm doing, but not really. Alright, I might be able to bust it out. I'm still really hesitant of going within a mile of that lava. This is all hard rock, isn't it? There's a lovely shortcut here that we've busted through, which is beautiful, but some sort of fly or something keeps landing on the back of my head and is driving me to drink. Not entirely sure that drinking would actually make the situation better. Sorry, could I just look at that animation again? Oh, look! You can see, I don't know why I'm zooming in, so that's going to make it any bigger. But look, yeah, there's a little animation of picking something up. That's not original. Well, of course it's not original. The tunnel transport isn't original. You couldn't pick stuff up. But, I like that. Nice attention to detail. Yeah, we can bust through here, which is going to expose this bit of lava, and I am really freaking hesitant to do that. So, what I'm going to do is bust through here a little bit. Then I'm going to come back and find the tunnel transport so that we're ready to finish the mission. And then, actually, no, of course I'm not going to do that, because that would be far too sensible. I'm going to do something stupid, and I'm just going to expose it immediately. Why wouldn't I do that? Oh, there we are, actually, that gives a shortcut, but we'd have to bring the tunnel transport back, but no, of course we don't. That makes my life easier. Yeah, let's bust through here and see if the lava erodes or not. Please don't. I mean, in a stupid sort of way, I half hope that it does, because that would be sort of funny to see me run around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to get this done and expose the tunnel transport so we can finish the mission before everything goes... everything quite literally goes to hell. Okay, I reckon that's about everything over here now. Yep, there we are. And no, it doesn't seem to erode. Good. I must say, Baz is being tremendously generous with the non-eroding lava. By now, I would have imagined to have been eaten alive by the lava about 3 times. But, I'm grateful that that hasn't happened much yet. Because, that was another thing I really didn't like about the custom levels, was the over-dependence on eroding lava as a threat, which I can understand, because at the time there weren't monsters, so eroding lava was basically the only threat that people had to implement in order to act as any kind of impediment. But now that we've got monsters and slugs and bats and everything else, I'm glad to say that hopefully, hooray, we did it! Isn't that awesome? And we didn't have to travel down the river, which makes my life 1,000 times easier. And we get a little truck, and we don't get a second jet, which is interesting. Because if you play this game with Jet in your crew and then you bust through here, you find a second Jet, which is slightly confusing. Also, I don't remember there being an upgrade station here before. Never mind, doesn't matter. Man, I've been doing this for 50 minutes. Bloody hell, this video is going to be long. Never mind. Never mind, we did all of that. Isn't that cool? Let's go for a little sort of wider shot. There we go. Yes, yeah, you can end up with jet twins, which after the last cutscene we saw with twin docks and twin sparks, that perhaps shouldn't be surprising, but hey ho. It's interesting, really, that the cutscene used that kind of put my commander's hat back on for no particularly good reason. Interesting that the cutscene used those sort of duplicates, which I had most dreadfully forgotten about, and I do apologise for that. Just surprises me that they had sort of duplicates of the bridge crew rather than just using the little sort of generic rock raiders as sort of placeholders for everyone else, rather than creating duplicates. But I don't know. Maybe the idea was like if you bought sort of the sets of the rock raiders theme, you'd end up with duplicates of all of the people, apart from Chief, who I think only ever appeared in one set, which was actually just a set of 3 figures with trading cards and little stands, if I remember correctly, rather than him ever actually appearing in a proper set. If I am wrong about that, please come to my house and slap me in the face with a large fish. Yeah, so apart from Chief, you'd end up with duplicates of everybody eventually, so maybe that's what they were trying to draw on to make it to make it seem more in line with that. I don't know, but never mind, it doesn't matter. That was really rather good, and I rather enjoyed it, and it was nice to see some more ice monsters, and nice to see what Baz can do with this mission, because I really think that this is quite nice to make you really invest in getting a lot further out before you can access this, which is lovely, because you could kind of finish this mission in about 5 minutes if you just threw dynamite along this pathway as quick as you could. So I'm kind of glad that there's that's been updated a little bit to make it a little bit more tricky.
Got that tunnel transport just in time. Good going. Mission complete.
By just in time, you mean after about 15 minutes, but never mind. Right, so now we've got access to
The hard rock life.
Yes, indeed, and the voices are louder, which is something I remember reading in a changelog at some point, because they acknowledged that the voices for the Baz Mod levels that aren't in the original levels, and thus have who I presume is Baz making the lines being read out, were too quiet. So now they've been made to sound roughly the same. So this should sound about the same as this.
Trouble.
Which indeed they do. So yes, next month is what I mean. Sorry, I'm used to doing standard series instead of these less irregular ones. Less irregular, I mean more irregular. We'll do
The Hard Rock Life.
which sounds exciting, and
Explosive Action.
which is a nice little level. So yeah, of course, the Hard Rock Life, of course, is one of Baz's own levels. So of course, I've got nailed is what it's going to include. So I look forward to exploring that. And of course, we've got Explosive Action, which is an old fan favourite level with that little truck in it, which is usually the sort of level where I think most people do their sort of team building in terms of getting enough buildings and training everybody to do everything and upgrading everybody. But goodness, that was a long affair, wasn't it? But that went better than I actually expected it to, and I like this music. I imagine that this music is copyrighted, but I don't know who owns the copyright, so we'll try and get away with it. But
I think I'm gonna build a bridge today.
all right, that's shockingly professional. I like that music because it's like really proper professional music, but it's completely ridiculous lyrics about Lego, which I think is highly appropriate. It's just one of the reasons why we love this. We love the. How do I get rid of this? There we go. Not by doing that. By doing that, there we are. I love the old era of Lego games. Let me eat another sandwich, another imaginary sandwich that I can bust out of my waistcoat. There's anything else you can click on, is there? I'm kind of curious. All sorts of interesting little things that you can click on. Oh goodness, there is actually a laser. I didn't see that before. I don't know how I didn't see that before, but never mind. Can I shoot him in the dark? Oh man, I love this game. I love playing this game. Even after all these years, I still love playing this game. It's so much fun. Right then, that's more than enough for me for this evening, because I feel like I've been yammering on for at least an hour and a half, so I apologise for that. But I hope you've enjoyed looking through a little bit more of the Baz Mod levels. How far are we through? How do I access my list of custom levels? Play game, community levels. This is what I meant to say. Where are we up to? We're up to 9. Yeah, so we're 9 of 33. So we're about a third of the way through, which is a bit worrisome to think how much longer this series is going to last. But anyway, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Look after each other, and good night.